Hey friends, how's it going? Ben here with BGTV, and today I want to talk about something a little bit different than normal. Usually I like to talk about things that will help you get somewhere, help you do something and more. But actually today I want to talk about removing stuff and how to suck less. And I wanted to name it that because I know it's very a very charged way to say something. And I know that it can be, it's an aggressive way to say it. But I really wanted to get this on the radar because on your radar because what I found is that cleaning up the fundamentals and the basics and making sure to focus on a select few things instead of trying to get fancy with it or try to be advanced or anything like that, that will actually help most people more than anything else. The reason I'm saying that is because I've recently gone through, the last couple of years, been going through a process of cleaning up in all the different disciplines of life, of my life, cleaning up all of those different things. And it has been amazing. The transformation in my own life has been unbelievable. I went from a pretty dark place in 2021 after my dad died. He had a heart attack when he was 60 years old. I was 27. It was just awful. So I kind of hit rock bottom and I had to rebuild. And the things that I noticed were taking care of the base things, the fundamentals were much more important, and cleaning up the things I was doing that was hurting me, or the ways that I was getting in my own way. Stopping that was much more effective than trying to go out and add something else or do something new or anything like that. There's this wonderful quote, and I have it here. I want to read it for you directly. It is remarkable how much long-term advantage people like us have gotten by trying to be consistently not stupid instead of trying to be very intelligent. That's a quote from Charlie Munger, billionaire investor, who's talking about himself and Warren Buffett. Now, clearly they figured something out in their area, but that idea can be applied to anything in life. And I would argue should be applied by everyone to all aspects of their lives. There's a really interesting idea, and I forgot who said it, but it'll never leave me, that in a game of, let's say, tennis or any sports game, or really anything, but the difference between amateurs and professionals is that an amateur spends most of their time losing the game, either unforced errors, or they're messing up, or in basketball, they're missing the shot, they're fouling. In tennis, they're hitting the ball into the net, they're double faulting, different things like that. Whereas pros are focused on winning points. So an amateur, it's just a battle of who can lose fewer points. Because if you're an amateur going against another amateur, it's just if you could just not lose more than the other person, then you should be fine. When you get to the professional level, it's a little bit different, but most people are not going to be at a professional level of life. Most people are not thinking about this stuff. They're not thinking about how do I optimize this or how do I get to that level? They're just kind of going through it and they're not really putting that much thought into it. Maybe they're like, oh, that stuff's woo woo, or it doesn't matter, or who cares? So if you actually do care about that stuff and you sit there and drill down, and you figure out the different things that you can do to get out of your own way, it's unbelievably powerful. So I wanted to propose a framework for actually doing it. So I am a big believer in the power of thinking about life through the lens of the seven core disciplines. I remember them with the acronym SIPFIRE, but it's spiritual, intellectual, physical, financial, industrial, relational, and emotional. And everything in our lives can fall within one or more of the seven core disciplines. In fact, I would challenge you to tell me anything in life that would fall outside of one or more of those seven core disciplines. I bet you can't. If you can, let me know. I would love to be proven wrong here. I don't think I am. And so, anyways, in each of these seven core disciplines, a really helpful exercise is to think about the perfect version of you, whoever you want to be, the perfect version of you, or what you look for in role models, whatever that ideal for you is in each of these seven core disciplines. Write down a couple of things, or all things, whatever works for you, of those things that this ideal person would be doing at that, at the level of ideal. So for example, if you're thinking about becoming a professional basketball player or professional swimmer. Like some of these fundamentals that they're definitely going to do are they're going to exercise every day. They're going to train in their specific field of expertise. They're going to eat healthy. They're going to go outside and get some sunlight, and a bunch of, like, they're not going to drink alcohol, or they're going to limit that. And we're talking about peak. They're going to limit their screen time, different things like that, right? So then that's like the ideal. And we all know these things. Like it's really not rocket science here. Like we know the good things that we need to do in order to really be at our best and the ideal. Okay. And then once we have that, then side by side that, now it's the version of this ideal that we're actually doing. So if the ideal is living, uh, going outside for an hour a day. Okay, well, how much time do you actually spend outside? And then consistently eating a very healthy diet with these particular foods. Okay, well, what are you actually eating? Are you going to get fast food? Are you eating a bunch of chocolate, a bunch of candy? Or you're not really eating right? Getting 8 hours a day of sleep, uninterrupted sleep. Are you like not sleeping very well? Or you're doing different things with it. So figure out the ideal and then where you are, closing that gap between the ideal and where you are. But just on the fundamentals, I would be willing to bet. I'll go out on a limb and I would bet that that will do more to get you to where you want to go by consistently closing that gap and focusing on getting those fundamentals to where you know that they should be and doing that day in and day out consistently. That will get you so much further along than any sort of advanced technique or this advanced life hack or really anything else. If you think about the greats, I pulled up a quote from Michael Jordan. I'm gonna read it to you directly. This is from Michael Jordan, arguably the greatest basketball player of all time. The minute you get away from fundamentals, whether it's proper technique, work ethic, or mental preparation, the bottom can fall. The bottom can fall out of your game, your schoolwork, your job, whatever you're doing. Michael Jordan is telling us this. All the greats are telling us this. Focus on the fundamentals. So to suck less, eliminate the things that are holding us back. And the way to do that is by refocusing on those fundamentals. Do them right. Nail them down. It's easy for those things, like maybe I'll have a drink with dinner, and then maybe I'll have two, and then they kind of creep back in. Or like maybe I'll wake up and check my phone, but then it's I'm checking my phone every day when I wake up, and then it's I'm spending hours and hours every day on my phone, and I'm doom scrolling endlessly on social media. Then you see what I'm saying? Like these things compound on each other. And so the way to like curb that, to cut those things out, is to bring it back to the fundamentals of, like, we know what it takes essentially to be a healthy human being doing healthy human being things. It's not that complicated. We figured that out. We know what that looks like. Getting back to the fundamentals that allow us to get there, that's the key. That's the message of the day. That's what I really wanted to share here, because most people are not going to do that. Most people are absolutely not going to sit there and figure out what are the fundamentals that I need to actually be the person that I want to be. And we're not talking about anything crazy. Like going outside and taking a walk every day is not a crazy thing. Eating a healthy, eating a healthy diet and having your list of foods that's like, these are the things that make me feel really good long term, that are healthy for me as a human being, and sticking to those things, that's not a crazy extreme thing. That is a fundamental. That is a basic. Sticking to it every day and being consistent with it, and the course of a lifetime, that's kind of tough, but it is simple and it is easy to understand. Sticking to the fundamentals is a very simple concept. Eliminating the things that are holding us back, it's a very simple concept. It's the discipline to actually stick with it over the course of our lifetimes, a long period of time. That's where it gets kind of tough, because it takes some discipline, and it takes saying no to things that are sometimes fun, like going out and drinking a bunch, or smoking pot, or whatever it is. Like those things can be fun, or they're enticing. Like doom scrolling is a thing because it's very addictive for the human brain. It's very easy for the human brain to sit there and get trapped in that dopamine cycle of the endless scrolling. It just is. That's just how those things were created to do that. They were created to trap our attention. So take some discipline, but by doing those things, they're not that hard, sticking to the fundamentals and just day by day, layering on one good day after another good day, that'll get us so much further than trying to be fancy, trying to do advanced stuff, because very few people are actually going to do that consistently over a lifetime. And so you give yourself such a big advantage at the end of the day. So I'd encourage you to really go through that exercise and think about those things, because you'd be surprised how easy it will be to outcompete when you focus on those fundamentals. Like, think about it. Most people, they're eating fast food, they're doom scrolling on social media, they're all freaked out because they're watching the news. And if you just kind of cut that stuff out and just focus on what's really important and stick to those fundamentals, you don't have to worry about that. You're going to have so much more energy than other people. You're going to have so much more time back because you're not sitting there doom scrolling. Those little things, they add up and they turn into big things collectively, especially when compounded over the course of time. So I hope this was helpful, and I will see you all on the next episode. Take care.